when I want to. Best thing next to heaven.
And now I would like to introduce our third host, Imani Camp Randolph, who has been with Nura Magazine pretty much from the beginning as our managing editor.
Hey, Imani.
Hey, y'all.
Hey.
Happy to be back.
Oh, yeah. We are all back. So you got to tell the audience about yourself.
Yes, definitely. So, hi. As Akila said, I'm Imani Camp Randolph, and I am the managing editor for Nura Magazine. So, a little bit about me. I am a Chicago girl, born and bred through and through.
Chi-town?
Yes. But I have lived in the Washington, D.C. area for the past 12 years now. I'm currently living in D.C. proper with my husband and my dog. And we actually got married in 2020, somehow managed to get married during the pandemic. So we're actually coming up on our 5-year wedding anniversary this September. Yes, I'm really excited about that. So we've survived. I feel like 5 years is a really great accomplishment. So that's coming up and I'm really looking forward to that. Day-to-day wise, I work for one of the large banks in their asset management division as a vice president and research analyst. And even outside of that, which is why I'm so happy that we're kind of like starting this again, I do a lot of work focused on DEI and with everything that's just kind of like changing in the world right now. It's really important to, uplift our community, our Black community, community of Black women. So I love that I get to do this with Nura, as well as kind of like an add-on to my day job. So I'm really excited to be here. I'm excited to kind of like keep pushing forward, even though the world is pushing back against us. But that's why we're here. We're here to create a platform to uplift women and Black women in our community. So thank you for having me back.
No, thank you for coming back. Thank you, Imani, for being there and riding with us, like I said, since the early days. And you actually sparked a great conversation when it comes to DEI and women empowerment. And can we just talk about, the white elephant in the room?
Yeah.
And I'll say it like Trump. Like, let's talk about the fact that he is now president. And, despite what we thought could happen, yes, she can. Kamala went so far. And I think she did amazing with her campaign. Unfortunately, she lost. And so now we have who we have in office. Okay. But he's coming in changing everything. And so I do agree that this platform is important because Black voices are important. Black women voices are important. DEI is important. So can you talk a little bit about how you hope to see DEI progress despite, people trying to pull it the other way?
Yeah. So I see this kind of from two sides. As I said, I do a lot of kind of like DEI focused work, through my 9 to 5. And honestly, I feel like a lot of this is going to come down to like being creative. Like I'm seeing a lot of things change in my work environment. I think it's just becoming creative with how you target certain audiences or kind of like build your workforce to reflect certain groups that you want it to reflect. I think it's not necessarily giving up. I think sometimes you have to like really put some mind muscle behind it and figure out, okay, how can we do this differently? So I think that's one thing. I think the other thing, like I said, is platforms like Nura, just come do your own thing. Like come up with your own platform, your own webpage, your own podcast, like whatever it is. Yeah. Step outside of kind of like your comfort zone, because I will say this is like stepping outside of my comfort zone a little bit. But I think that's probably the key. If it's something that you feel strongly about, if it's something that you believe in, figure out how to make it happen.
Yeah, I think that's the beauty of where we are today in the world. Our voices are easily heard. We have platforms available to us. Social media has created that way for us, but it hasn't been enough. I think we need to hear much more of our voices. And I hope to provide that actually through Nura to have other people. If you have a brand, if you have, your own platform and you're struggling to figure out how to position it, please reach out to us because we want to partner. We want to uplift voices. We want to promote other people. So, I'm really, really excited and happy to do that. Crystal, can you tell me, what do you hope to see when it comes to women empowerment?
I think I would like to see us just banding together. I think we accomplish so much more when we work together. Something that you said, Imani, and I wanted to kind of go back to is being creative. There's a lot of things that the white elephant in the room has done thus far, and I know that there's a lot of people who have lost hope. They're fearful. They don't see a path forward, but I think you verbalizing it that way of being creative, like there's a lot that you can accomplish just because one person does something or that creates a law or takes away something doesn't mean that's the end all be all. Mm-hmm. Like we have gone through, us other people have gone through so much, but we have always come out stronger on the other side. And it's like, if we work together, if we be creative, this is just another obstacle that we'll overcome.
I would say the beautiful thing about Black women, and really Black people in general, we've done more with less. And so I think that we should not be, a lot of people are afraid. And I wanted to ask you guys, just check temperature, how you feel. But I will say that I'm not afraid because I know that we can overcome and that we have overcome. And again, they can strip us down to nothing, but we can prevail and we have as a society. But how do you guys just feel overall?
Y'all, I don't know how many times I've said that I was moving to Mexico. I feel like I need to get out of here. But obviously I'm not going anywhere. But I do think that my mantra at this point in time is it's only 4 years and it's the last 4 years. As difficult as it may be. This can't happen again. We have these 4 years and at least we know we're done. I know that's not necessarily the sentiment that most people have because I don't want to suffer through this either, to be honest, but just trying to take away from it. And I know a lot can happen in 4 years. Look how much has changed and we're not even at the first 100 days yet in office. So part of me is, a little bit nervous and worried and scared, but the other part of me is we've seen this country do so much. Mm-hmm. I think when we band together, when we rally together, we've turned historically red states blue. Yeah. I think when we really put effort behind something, an idea, a movement, whatever it is, we can push forward. I'm actually looking forward to midterms. We have an opportunity. So
it's always overlooked.
Yes. And I think that's the thing as citizens, as constituents, as voters, we have to be aware of, I don't get the same vote because I'm a DC resident, but
local elections.
But local elections
are important.
They matter. So I think that's where kind of my optimism lies for right now. It's okay, we're here, but what do we have to look forward to? And I think midterms could be a huge turning point for us. So I'm keeping that in mind.
I think that's something that we can utilize our platform by educating a lot of our people on how important the midterms are. Like you said, it oftentimes gets overlooked, and that's where all the decisions really come into play. So the people that we put in office at that time is really how we get things done. So I think we have to do our due diligence, making sure that people are educated about it.
When you spoke about education, do you think that the community was miseducated or ill-informed when it came to the election or even decisions that are now coming to fruition? Do you think that there was a gap in education that probably led to some of the decisions that people are regretting when it comes to supporting Trump?
I would say it's hard because I'm yes and no. I feel the education or the resources are there. It's just, I think social media as a platform is good and bad. There's so much incorrect information that's floating out there. So if you come across one video that says some misinformation, you're going to be bombarded with that same information.
Oh yeah, it's actually scary. So I come from a family of 5, and when we have a group chat, and the things that each one of us was sharing, they were coming from so many different angles. My brother would get so many like right-wing type of, I don't know what I want to call it, but I was a little afraid. I'm like, how are you receiving this info? Like, who is sending this to you? And he's finding it on social media. But I was at work one day, and when I turned it on, there's like an explore page, and that was like the first time I think I saw like so much like targeted information about, you know, that side, and a lot of hateful things about Kamala. And it kind of shocked me, but that's when I realized that depending on where you are or how the algorithm is set up, you were force-fed a certain type of information, or could be. And it almost seems innocent, like social media seems innocent, but it's a very, very powerful tool. And I think that's why, you know, a lot of people get upset about like the TikTok ban and things like that. But on a larger scale, manipulation can easily happen through those platforms. So when it comes to our young people, I have a sensitivity to that, because I just want people to be on an equal playing field and be able to think freely and not be force-fed this information, whether, you know, right, wrong, or indifferent. We should have it all available to us, but to be targeted, that's a whole nother conversation.
I feel like this can be a topic like all day long.
Yeah.
But to go back to your original question of like what we hope to see in the future, or like just where we stand, I think, me personally, I'm just going to take it one day at a time. I can't really focus on things that have not happened yet. I know that there's a lot of things that are being verbalized of what's going to happen, but until it happens, I can't act on it. So I'm just going to take it one step at a time.
Yeah, I think that's a good way to think about it.
So to wrap up, in honor of Women's History Month, let's pay homage to some powerful Black women.
Women making history.
Yes, women making history.
Definitely.
For me, I'll say Issa Rae.
Let's go with Kamala Harris, of course.
Yes.
I already mentioned Angela Also Brooks, but with that, Lisa Blunt Rochester in the Senate.
Okay.
From TV, Quinta Brunson.
Keke Palmer.
That girl, Shonda Rhimes, came before them.
Highlighting kind of like some up and coming businesses that are on my mind. Philomena Kane of Kin Apparel. Love all of her stuff.
Yeah. For me, I would say Marvina Robinson. She is the founder and owner of B. Stuyvesant, a champagne brand. So.
In sports, we got Angel Reese holding it down for Black women, showing you how to be a boss despite, you know, what's going on. Simone Biles, we can't leave her out. That girl.
Can't leave out Jordan Childs now.
No, also can't leave out Missy Copeland.
Love
ballet.
her.
So, some girls out here doing some things.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh, in Congress, Jasmine Crockett.
First of all the women, the 27% Black women in Congress, you guys are holding it down. Your voices are loud. We hear you, you guys. I mean, thank you. We appreciate you.
Yes. So, all the flowers to all you ladies.
We love you and we appreciate you.
Thank you for welcoming us back.
Pull up score when I want to. Best thing that's to have. They be trying